Hi everyone, today we're going to make a round flash head for $3. So, before you spend hundreds of coins of your local currency on a Godox V1, or a local variant of it, or a Profoto A1 for that matter, you can easily check if you actually need a round flash head. And you don't really need to buy the Godox round head adapter kits. Well, unless you love magnets, then you simply must have this. And here's what you can do with your fistful of dollars. Isn't that nice? So, if you have about $3 to spare, you can get some tracing paper and maybe some leftover duct tape, or actually just the tube it was originally wrapped around. First, what you can do is simply stick the tracing paper directly onto your flash. Just remember, the head can get quite hot, so make sure there's no fire hazard. Not bad, but if you want a bit more control, you could use the duct tape to achieve a more rounded light source. Conveniently, the common tube's inner diameter almost exactly matches the width of many speedlights, like the 580 EX1 and 2, and their Godox equivalents. The 600 EX is a bit wider, but if you slightly squeeze the tube, it should fit just fine. Now all that is left is to attach the diffusion material. I prefer electrical or insulating tape as it leaves little glue residue and is easy to work with. Now play around with your speedlight zoom settings to find the sweet spot for light distribution. Also remember to check the inside of the duct tape tube. Any colorful patterns or even colored text will tint the light and could create a sort of a radial color gradient, as the light rays bouncing off the tube's inside will be tinted, but the ones going directly through the diffuser will not. There's definitely potential for creativity here, but you can always play safe and go for a color-neutral tube. If you happen to have the equivalent of about $7, you could even get a professional-grade diffusion filter. My favorites are Lee Hollywood Frost, 404 Half Soft Frost, also by Lee, and the classic 216 White Diffusion. There are a few benefits to using pro filters. First, they seem more durable. Second, some of them are flexible and quiet, so no rustling noise. What I especially like about the Hollywood Frost and the Soft Frost is that these have very good transmission. In general, they only cost you about a third of a stop, so that is great compared to more than one for the tracing paper and way above 1.5 for the classic white diffusion. I'll show you one more trick you can use with any diffusion filter. You can achieve multiple looks, or rather patterns of light distribution from just one type of filter. The simplest way of doing this is to leave some space between the filter and the flash head. The result depends on the filter you use, so it's a good idea to check various distances and filter sizes to see what's possible. You can also shape the filter to further modify the light pattern to your liking. So here's a quick recap of light distribution for the modifiers we discussed today and how they stack up against the stock V1. Note the slight color temperature changes depending on a particular flash and modifier combination. That said, remember these are not accurate color measurements, but only preview images, which were compressed and had the color profile converted or reassigned at least 3 times before they reach your monitor. So these are to be treated as a rough guide only. Here's a bit more controlled test, as I used the same flash and the Godox SR1 bracket and AKR1 magnetic rings to keep the filters at a constant distance from the flash head. All in all, it seems that the V1 keeps a nice balance between light output and light distribution. No surprise there. However, some of the filters applied to standard speedlights seem to produce even smoother gradients for wider flash zoom settings. But they do so at a cost of light output. Still, if the goal is to play around with the concept of circular-shaped flash heads, you'll probably be okay with tracing paper and duct tape. That's it. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you liked the video and let me know if you'd like to watch more content like this.